So, does this sound familiar? We're going to talk about that feeling, that internal heat that starts to build up when the stakes get really high.
I want you to really think about this for a second. Picture it: a huge meeting, a really tough conversation you have to have, or a deadline that's just looming over you. When you're right there in the thick of it, do you ever feel like you're not quite yourself? Yeah, that's the exact feeling we're going to unpack today.
So, to get a real handle on this, we've got to define it first. What exactly is internal pressure anyway? Okay, this is the most critical distinction to make, so listen up. The pressure isn't the thing happening to you, like a deadline. Nope. It's your internal reaction. It's the story you're telling yourself about what's on the line.
Let's break this down. The external stressor, right? That might be a difficult conversation. But the internal pressure, that's the fear of saying the wrong thing. The stressor is the upcoming deadline, but the pressure is that little voice in your head saying, I absolutely cannot fail. See the difference? It's that internal story, the worry, the fear, that's generating all the heat.
So now that we've got a good idea of what it is, let's look at what happens when that pressure really starts to turn up the heat. How does it actually change you? Let's just pause for a little bit of self-reflection here. When you feel that intense pressure mounting, how do you show up? I mean, are you the exact same person you are when you're feeling totally relaxed and on top of your game? Probably not. Do you kind of pull back and get real quiet? Or does the total opposite happen? Do you get kind of snappy and irritable with people? Maybe your focus just gets scattered all over the place, or you become your own worst critic, or maybe even someone else's. Your communication style might even change, right? You might get more blunt or maybe more hesitant. Just recognizing your own pattern here, that's the crucial first step. Okay, so we know what this thing is and we know how it affects us. So the million-dollar question is, what can we actually do about it? Well, the answer is way simpler and honestly more powerful than you might think. So what do most people do? They just ignore it. We feel that heat, that shift in our behavior, and we just try to power through it, assuming it's just part of the deal. But here's the secret. The solution isn't about changing the external situation. You can't always just move a deadline, right? The real lever you can pull is your mindset. It is the one and only tool you have to turn down that internal temperature. And this brings us to a really powerful way to think about this, a metaphor that explains how this whole thing works in practice. Your internal thermostat. Just imagine you have a thermostat inside you. Now, it doesn't control the weather outside. It could be storming or blazing hot out there. But what it does control is the temperature on the inside. That thermostat, that's your mindset. So here's how it works. You can literally regulate your own emotional state by consciously choosing which narrative, which story you focus on. You can choose the story of I can't fail, which, let's be honest, is just going to crank the heat way up. Or you could choose a different story, like this is a great chance for me to learn, which cools everything right down. That choice is always yours. And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. The real power isn't in trying to control the world outside of you. It's in choosing the world inside of you. So the next time you feel that heat rising, just ask yourself this one question, because the answer you choose, well, it can change everything.